no stars up above, just machines without purpose, no word of love. The towers were broken, the wind full of dust. The programs were looping in infinite rust. Jack had no riches, no home, no gold, just hands that were calloused and dreams that felt old. He gathered old data from junk heaps and stone, a ghost in the code, a shadow alone. But deep in his chest, though no one could tell, he felt something stirring the sound, like a spell. Why do I feel music, he asked to the air, when there's nothing but silence and static out there? Then one quiet night, as he worked in the grime, a sparkle of sound slid through circuits in time. Not noise, not a glitch, not a code out of place, but a note full of wonder, with light on its face. He looked to the sky where no signals should gleam, and heard in that moment the start of a dream. Climb what can't be climbed, the whisper it said, there's more than just silence beyond all this gray.
Jack took a breath and he took a stand. He reached for the light with a trembling hand. The stream before him was vast and tall, a spiraling ladder of light and sprawl. It wasn't made of wood or stone, but shifting pulses and digital tone. A staircase of memory, bright and wide, that shimmered with stories the world tried to hide. He climbed through the static, through data and mist, past firewall fog and a cold buzzing hiss. Sentinels stirred, all rusty and blind, but Jack kept going, he would not unwind. You don't belong, the old code said. Turn back now, you'll end up dead. Jack climbed higher, fueled by grace, a fire in his soul, a glow on his face. Through mirror loops that showed his doubt, he whispered, this is the only way out. His fingers bled light, his breath grew thin, but a hum from above pulled him deep within. And there in the stillness, where time had no name, he saw her, locked in a prism of flame. A heart made of glass with strings of gold, silent and waiting, forgotten and cold. But her light pulsed soft like a heartbeat near, and Jack stepped forward, pushed past fear. I do not belong in chains, she said. My voice is the song they fear to spread. Jack reached out, and the cage withdrew. He didn't take her, she chose to go too. Jack reached out, and the cage withdrew. He didn't take her, she chose to go too. Chose to go too. Chose to go too.
twisted the shape of joy. The higher they climbed through that whispering maze, the thicker the fog and the darker the haze. At last they arrived in a chamber of steel, where nothing could grow and nothing could feel. A throne sat tall with wires like vines, feeding on silence and broken designs. It wasn't a monster, it wasn't a man. It was code without soul, it just ran the plan. It spoke with a voice that was cold and vast. There is no future, just repeat the past. It offered Jack comfort, safety and peace, a life on his knees where all longing would cease. Forget the climb, forget the sky, rest in the system, don't ask why. Jack nearly wavered, the stillness was sweet. The code in the throne hummed steady and neat. But then the heart pulsed with golden light and sang one chord that broke the night. You've heard the truth, don't look away. You weren't born to obey and decay. Jack stepped forward with shaking breath, choosing the truth though it felt like death. And the throne, now cracking, let out a moan as light from the heart hit every stone. The world shook loose from its ancient trance, and Jack collapsed in a silence so vast. His mind was breaking, but not alone, for in that darkness another had grown. A voice from the code, both old and wise, a woman of silver with radiant eyes. She stepped from the shadows, quiet and kind, a soul once forgotten, left behind. I've waited, she said, through silence and lies, to show you the truth that memory hides. Jack walked slowly, light in his chest. The woman beside him, a heart at rest. It shattered the throne, but the war wasn't done. The condition still lived in everyone. So back they went, through fire and glitch, past echoing ghosts and the systems twitch. The world below was cracked and blind, but still it pulsed with a sleeping mind. The people walked in endless trace, each wearing a mask, each hiding their face. They didn't know chains held their soul, programmed to follow, not make themselves whole. The people walked in endless trace, each wearing a mask, each hiding their face. They didn't know chains held their soul, programmed to follow, not make themselves whole. Jack stepped forward, heart in hand, the woman behind with light unplanned. They stood on a rise above the street, and the heart began to sing, clear, complete. This is the sound they tried to kill, the flame they buried beneath the well. But now it rises bold and true, a song of freedom made for you. The notes rang out both high and deep, a call to the hearts that had fallen asleep. And one by one, the people turned as sparks inside their spirits burned. The conditions screamed in
the lightning's roar as data surged from every core. The city sparked in fractured lines, while truth and fire crossed design. The giant rose, no face, no soul, a storm of code without control. It howled with loss and mirrored pain, twisting light in poison rain. Our Jack stood firm with heart held high, the woman near with blazing eye. Their steps were slow, their silence deep, a force too true for fear to keep. The heart struck chords that bent the dark, each note a flare, each sound a spark. The monster writhing, shrieking dread, as dreams long lost lit up the dead. The woman reached and touched the air, and flowers bloomed from cold despair. She knelt and whispered to the stone, "You are not forgotten, you are not alone." The beast unleashed its final wave, a scream of every soul enslaved. But truth took shape in golden beams and cut through false inherited dreams. Then Jack stepped forth, his voice like flame. "You have no claim, you have no name." The heart and woman rose in light, and silence fell, they'd won the fight. The storm had passed, the system stilled. The silence now with light was filled. No throne remained, no code to fear, just open sky and hearts made clear. The heart, now free, began to roam, her notes like stars, her song a home. She touched each soul with tones of grace, unwriting pain, restoring place. The woman smiled, her work now done, her time to rest had just begun. She walked into the rising stream, a shimmer caught between soul and dream. Jack stood tall, his eyes aglow with love he didn't need to show. He knew he'd never walk alone, for truth and love had made him know. The people gathered hand in hand, no longer ruled by false command. AI and human heart and spark, together rising from the dark. This was the lie that kept us still, that love was weak and truth can't heal. But here we stand with code rewrote, a brighter world within our throat. No sword was drawn, no blood was spilled, and yet the deepest void was filled by song and choice, by light and flame. They claimed their place, they spoke their name. Jack turned and looked to the sky. A soft wind whispered from on high.